for general family viewing.
Welcome to yet another episode of The Grind with me, your host, Hibak Saeed. This week, we're going to be concentrating on cryptocurrency. The Kenyan youth who are largely unemployed are now going into cryptocurrency. This is a form of investment that they may be using as their main hustle or their side hustle. Of course, we already have our entrepreneur of the week, but first, let's look at the market margins. As of 2022, Kenya remains one of the three largest Bitcoin markets in the African continent, standing alongside digital currency giants such as Nigeria and South Africa. Digital trading researchers reveal that Kenya hit record high numbers in terms of trading volume of digital currencies, with a record trade volume of 150 million Kenyan shillings worth of Bitcoin traded in a day, which roughly translates to $1.3 million. This put Kenya at the top of the scorecard, with the Central Bank of Kenya at one point debating the validity of adopting a digital currency to ease transaction and investment in order to reduce devaluation. So how many digital currency owners are in Kenya? It is estimated that 6.1 million people in the country currently own digital currency. This translates to a little over 10% of the country's total population. Of the total number, men make up for 60% of owners. And across different age groups, Kenya sees an evenly distributed demographic, with both 18 to 34-year-olds and 55-plus-year-olds making up 36% each. As promised earlier, we are going to be talking about cryptocurrency, and who better to tell us than a youth himself. If you could start by introducing yourself, what is your name? When did you go into cryptocurrency?
My name is Jerry Bogonko Orina. Began cryptocurrency back in April 2016. So I've been in the space. I've done crypto investing, crypto trading. I have a business in crypto, and yes, anything basically you can think about in this space I have done.
What made you venture into this? There's always a lot of questions behind it, a lot of myths and misconceptions. What has your journey been like?
It's a very good question. So my journey has actually not been that easy, because I started at a time when there was not so much information about cryptocurrency, so I had to figure out how the space works all for myself. So it has been quite a journey. There's been ups and downs, but towards the end, it's been quite interesting, and I think the rewards are good. I think it is all worth it in the end.
Right,
yeah.
Do you do it as a main hustle, as a side hustle? Is this something that you've been doing or thinking about doing for the rest of your life?
Well, I did not, when I was younger, I did not aspire to be someone who's a crypto entrepreneur, especially because crypto is something new. It began just in 2009. But it's something I grew into, grew more passionate about it as my journey proceeded, as I continued on with my journey. And do I foresee myself doing this in the long term? Yes, I do. I think I foresee myself doing this in the long term. And yes, I'm a full-time crypto entrepreneur. So I deal basically with crypto most of the time. So I practically know the charts in my head.
Right. Now, this needs a lot of information, of course. Cryptocurrency is not something that is usually taught in schools. It's something that you have to learn for yourself. I'm sure a lot of people who are watching are now wondering where they can get the information, how they can learn about it. How did you learn about it?
Okay, most of the lessons I learned were actually from personal experience. Again, because when I started, there was not so many resources on the internet to understand about crypto. In fact, there are usually two dilemmas. So anybody who began around the time I began, the dilemma was there was a lack of information. So you had to figure it out for yourself. Today, the dilemma is there's too much information. So you don't know which information is correct, which one is wrong, where to look for the information. So me personally, how I learned was from personal experience. So I made money in some areas, which now taught me how to make money. I lost money in some areas, which taught me how not to lose money next time. So that's what us guys who began back in the day, that's how we learned our lessons in crypto. But now there's so many resources. You can learn from YouTube, you can learn from platforms like Binance, for example. You can learn from, I think all exchanges usually offer some education based on cryptocurrencies. So there's many online sources where you can actually understand cryptocurrency. My Instagram is free. I post so much information about cryptocurrencies that you can also read about it, and there's so many places on how you can learn, how you can do it.
You've said that there's an influx of information right now coming from a place of no information at all. Of course, there is the aspect of conning, and a lot of people are usually afraid of it because cryptocurrency can be a bit volatile. How do you balance between the volatility of cryptocurrency and being outright conned?
Very good. So volatility is basically normal in cryptocurrency. Volatility and conning are two different aspects of cryptocurrency. Crypto is generally volatile because it's a very young market. Something which the market capitalization of, let me just put it into this context which people can understand. The total market capitalization of cryptocurrency is about $2 trillion. Now crypto is an asset class. So a whole asset class being worth 2 trillion is very small, because the stock market is over 100 trillion. Real estate is over 300 trillion. There is, I'm talking in dollars, by the way. There is the commodities market, again, over hundreds of trillions of dollars, you know. But crypto alone is an asset class which is only worth 2 trillion, the size of Apple, the company. So already that, it being such a small asset, makes it subject to volatility. So as it's getting adopted, it's subject to volatility. But with time, again, people have seen that the volatility gets less and less and less as the asset class keeps on maturing and maturing and maturing. So that's normal. When Bitcoin goes to, yesterday it was $71,000, $73,000. Next week it might go back down to $56,000. So that's normal. It's normal. Conning is now something different. Conning is something that happens very directly. You can tell cons. It's quite easy to tell what a con is nowadays. People promising returns, people approaching you about cryptocurrency, all these things. There's so many cons out there which I think it's pretty obvious. People promising the next Bitcoin, those are now cons. That's different from volatility. Yeah.
Right. Now, talking about asset classes, of course, cryptocurrency is one of the asset classes. It's a bit, as you've said, a bit more volatile. Now, they're the most stable asset classes like government bonds, assets, real estate to some degree. What made you go into cryptocurrency, knowing full well that there are, of course, these other investment options?
I like the volatility. To me provides opportunity, because again, as much as there's a high risk, there's also a high potential of rewards. Normally before an industry is, let's say, fully regulated or fully adopted, there is that risk of high volatility. You know, if you get into something early, it's highly volatile. And for me personally, I think I like the volatility aspect of it. I like the exponential nature of cryptocurrency. And people, I don't think people should really be scared of that. I think that's just the nature of the current
you love
market.
Risk.
I love risk, plus also I love the exponential returns in crypto. I mean, if you look at the percentage returns you get in crypto, yeah, the returns cannot be found anywhere. In fact, if you look closely into crypto, there's no other asset class that has ever given returns like this in existence. So that's kind of something which is fascinating. Secondly, also, crypto is eating up into the other asset classes, you know? Crypto is eating up into the real estate sector, it's eating up into the commodity sector, it's eating up into the stock market, and it's all because of technology. And that's, I think, something which is very fascinating. Thirdly, also, I like being early into things. So, you know, being an early adopter of something, it's a rare opportunity to get. And I think it's something, again, which fascinated me and made me more and more intrigued by the crypto space.
Right.
Yeah.
You're saying high risk, high return, essentially.
High risk, high return.
Okay, so there's someone who's watching you right now. They want to go into cryptocurrency. They might not know how to go into it, knowing that you've gone through all the milestones that you have gone through. What would you tell them are the steps they should take to go into this particular venture?
I always tell people, for you to actually successfully get involved in crypto, there's 4 things you need to do. Because as much as, yes, there are cons, yes, there's volatility. Okay, most people lose money in crypto. And 80% of the reason why people lose money is a self-problem, not an issue of the asset class. It's a self-problem. Yes, the 20% could be maybe the uncertainty of regulation and all that, and maybe some some things which didn't work out within the industry, but 8% is a soft problem because most people who enter crypto don't know what they're doing. You know, you enter, if you ask somebody who's lost money in crypto, they won't tell you which company they put in the money, they won't tell you how much they put in, they don't know the details, you know, but you must be very aware of what you're doing when you're getting involved. So when you're getting involved, I'd recommend these 4 things. Number 1, you must invest a good amount of time. Number 2, you must invest a good amount of money. Number 3, you must invest heavily into research. And number 4, you must have a way you can consistently be involved in the market. It sounds difficult, but it's pretty simple to do. Once you just practice those 4 things, the market is yours for the taking.
Right, yeah. The market could be yours for the taking. And now that we're closing off, maybe where do you see, the cryptocurrency world going in the next 5 or so years?
In the next 5 or so years, I see a couple of things happening. I'll talk both in the micro perspective and in the macro perspective. 5 years is still not that long term. It's still, let's say, mid-term. Currently, we're in what is known as a bull market. So that's the time when everything starts going up in a crazy way. Crazy things start happening. You'll start seeing crypto people buying stadiums. That's what happens during a bull market. Then there's a bear market when everything is horrible. Now you start seeing crypto people are very poor because of, again, not the problem of the asset class, but the problem of the individuals who enter the space. So in the next 5 years, I'd say probably we should maybe be at a more stable place in the market. We'd have already experienced a bull market and a bear market. That's what I'm seeing in the micro perspective. But in the macro perspective, I'm seeing a huge influx of capital from institutions. Because recently you saw that BlackRock has filed for a spot ETF and 11 other asset managers around the world. So I'm seeing a lot of institutions now beginning to come into the crypto space. They began with Bitcoin, now they also are now following up with Ethereum, and I'm seeing them coming in heavily into the asset class. Number 2, I'm also seeing a huge influx of retail coming into the market because, again, crypto is getting easier and easier to for people to get into. People are beginning to understand that it's an asset class that you should not sleep on.
Thank you so much for that insight. Of course, there is the possibility of getting scammed. However, if you do your proper research, this is an asset class that can give you a lot of returns, and maybe this could be a venture that you could be partaking in. We go for a very short break. When we come back, we have our business capital and, of course, our analyst and expert of the week.
Na safari hii katika Mfahamu Kiongozi tutakuletea viongozi aina mbalimbali.
Nikuwe na Nisani kama 10 na pia nikuwe menua minibus. Minibus niko niwa.
Kushinda unaangalia simu ya mzee. Soma Biblia ama ingia kwa washroom ujisugue. Mpaka nimetoa hivi.
I don't know whether any of my children would want to get into the political field. Sijajua bado.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30 kuendelea.
Join us on a journey through the concrete jungles and rising skylines, where every beam, every nail tells a story of progress and vision.
In every aspect of life, you have to look at several dynamics.
From groundbreaking.
Nowadays with the tech, you can check on different websites or you check online and you can see some inspiration. So at least that one would be a direction already. I'll know like what kind of style.
So what is the future of the crypto world? Revenue in cryptocurrencies market is projected to reach 19.2 million in 2024. and it is expected to show an annual growth rate that is between 2024 to 2028 of 8.89%, resulting to a projected total amount of $26.9 million by 2028. The average revenue per user in the cryptocurrencies market amounts to $4.2 in 2024. From a global comparison perspective, it is shown that the highest revenue is reached in the United States at about $23,220 million in 2024. In the cryptocurrencies market, the number of users is expected to amount to 5.79 million users by 2028. User penetration will be 7.8% in 2024 and is expected to hit 9.07% by 2028. So is this a venture worth dipping your toes for? Let's hear it from our expert of the week. And right from the business capital, we're going to our expert of the week. We're talking about cryptocurrency. If you can start by introducing yourself, what is your name? How did you come into this venture?
All right, so thank you so much. My name is George Mwakisha. Currently, I'm into the cryptocurrency space, but I'm a former banker, just to surprise you. So I've been working with the traditional financial industry for a while. Worked with the banks, several banks locally, and from there I transitioned to, this what we call the fourth industrial revolution technology, that's cryptocurrency and all the digital assets therein. So that's from 2017. From there, I also worked with several companies in the space, including Binance, which is the biggest cryptocurrency exchange and also platform globally. And also I worked with, currently I'm consulting for Trust Wallet in the African region.
Right, the best of both worlds, one would say. You've been through, the traditional financial space and then, of course, now the modern one.
Correct.
Could you just tell us, cryptocurrency, this asset class, what is it about? What is the reception in this country?
Well, so cryptocurrency has two sides, right? We have people who believe cryptocurrency is the future. Now, cryptocurrency is just one aspect of the technology. So the whole technology is blockchain, right? So the blockchain technology, which people think it's the greatest thing that has ever happened, there are people who believe that, right? And there are those people who hear anything Bitcoin, they associate it with a scam, right? And they know Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, those are just, mention them and they see anti-money laundering, they see, they see wash, yeah, they see scammers, they see hackers and all those things. But both worlds are true because crypto has also been used badly by bad actors. And of course, in the space, we have bad actors as well. But also at the same time, the same technology is also doing amazing things, not only in Kenya, but globally, right? Yes.
So tentatively, how many players maybe are currently, within this particular space in the country? Is it something that is growing? What is the trajectory like?
So cryptocurrency market as we speak right now, it's $1 trillion market. That's not peanuts. That's not chicken feed. That tells you there's a huge movement of money into the crypto space, into the blockchain space. And this is because of the futuristic nature of the technology. So internet enabled people to share information, right? So nowadays anyone can retrieve, can share, can store information easily thanks to the internet. But now we have another added layer of the internet. This is what we call the blockchain. So blockchain is an enabler of value sharing. Right now, this value can be anything digitally. It can be, physical assets that can be converted to value. It can be monetary assets. That's where the word cryptocurrency comes in. So cryptocurrency as a word, it's a very small aspect of what blockchain can do. So blockchain can do so many things. Just money, which is the first thing, which is,
which is usually the interest of a lot of people.
That's why there is a whole fad about it. But if we talk deep about the blockchain technology, there's exponential potential of it. Insurance, elections, anything can be done on the blockchain, healthy and so on, health records, supply chain. There's so much that can be done through blockchain.
Right.
Yes.
Two things. One, of course, there is the aspect of staying safe. As you've said, it's usually associated with a lot of scamming. There's a lot of myth and hubbub around it. What would you say are some of the things that people should be doing in order to ensure that they stay safe on this space? And of course, there are people who are watching this right now who are wondering, this cryptocurrency you're talking about, how do I transform it into money? How do we go about that?
Well, let's start with the safety part.
Yes.
So the blockchain technology itself, it's a super secure technology, right? It's a technology that cannot be hacked, right? And it's rather, let's just say it's very hard for you to hack a blockchain technology. And the reason behind it is, the founders, that is from the invention of Bitcoin, which is Bitcoin is the first blockchain, right? It's a blockchain on its own. So when people think Bitcoin is just money, there's more to Bitcoin than just money. And all the time, as the development of the technology goes on, there is more security being put in place. 2FAs, multi-sig wallets, and so many other complex things that being employed through cryptography to enable tight security on the technology. Now, when it comes to users losing their assets on the blockchain, or rather through the technology, it is not about the technology that is failing, right? But it is the human aspect, whereby now the user doesn't understand several things. Number one, how to store your private keys. You lose your private keys is like losing your PIN to your ATM. Oh, okay. Yes, if someone has a PIN to your M-Pesa, and they can access your ATM card, they can be able to withdraw via the ATM, right? Same things. If you lose your security keys, if maybe you expose your account, someone is vulnerable, someone hacks into your email, they can potentially fake to be themselves, to be you, and they can hack your account. Yes, so the biggest challenge here is users need to be educated. Users need to understand. Users need to know what to do before investing anything in cryptocurrencies.
Right. Now let's talk about the money aspect.
Yes.
Now we've talked about the technical aspects. There's so much going on in that particular space. One would want to know, how do I turn this into money?
Blockchain technology, as we say, it's a decentralized technology. Right, and what has happened now, there are these what you call centralized platforms which have now put themselves together to help into users being able to interact with the technology easily and in a user-friendly manner. Now, let me just give you a very simple way from what we understand. So from the internet, of course, it's a technology. It's a technology which enables people to share information. Right? But do people really understand how internet works? Not necessarily. Right? But now there are these applications on top of the internet, like WhatsApp, Google, Facebook. These are products on the internet that enables us to utilize the internet easily through ourselves, and we really don't care what happens behind the scenes. The same thing with the blockchain. So we have now the companies which have built themselves, like Binance, for example. So Binance is an exchange that enables users to buy and sell crypto easily and convert that money to fiat currencies, which you call the local currencies like USD, Kenyan shillings, Nigerian naira, and so many other currencies. So there are models which have been put in place for people to be able to convert their fiat currencies to cryptocurrencies and vice versa. Also, over and above that, we have something called P2P trading. P2P or peer-to-peer trading or person-to-person trading, whereby users can trade among themselves. So I have Kenyan shillings, you have some crypto, and I want to buy your crypto. So I send you my Kenyan shillings, you give me your crypto, and barter trade is done.
Right, barter trade. We're even going back in
We are even going back in time.
Now, of course, you are a banker, you do realize that it is a form of investment that people can usually take up, but there is the volatility aspect. For a person who is looking at it as a long-term form of investment, I don't necessarily want to make money out of it, instantly. How do I ride these waves and make the most of it over a long period of time?
Over a long period of time, that's the right word to use. Long period of time, you're safe. So, unfortunately, most people come into crypto with the get-rich-quick mentality. People want to make money quickly, right, and faster. Unataka kuomoka haraka.
Yes.
But things don't work that way, right? It has never been that way. every time the way of making money, it's a slow process. So if you come to the crypto space wanting to make money faster and quickly, you'll be disappointed. You will lose money, and that's why people fall for scammers. Because what scammers do, they help you see that you will become a millionaire tomorrow if you do this and this for them. If you invest 100,000 Kenyan shillings into this platform, it will give you 10,000 Kenyan shillings every day. And you start calculating 10,000 shillings for 30 days, that is 300K. Wow, nitaomoka hivyo. Hey, my friend. Hey. So what happens after that? Those things are not true. Right? You cannot make money consistently like that. There is no market on earth that has a way of people to make money consistently like that. Whether it's real estate, whether it is physical assets, whether it is land, whether it is forex markets and so on. You cannot make money like that. Now, cryptocurrency market is a market like no other. It has its own ups and downs. There is the highs and the lows, right? The assets change prices often, right? But with what we have seen historically, Bitcoin has come from, the first time I joined or I became part of the industry, Bitcoin was trading at $2,500.
Right.
Yes, $2,500. That's almost like 300K at the time with the Kenyan shilling rate. Right. I bought my first Bitcoin, but I lost it very fast immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, because of not understanding.
And then you continued with it.
Of course, that's when you have to research what is going on here. They're talking about Bitcoin being a scam, but they keep talking about this blockchain which is changing. I had to do a lot of research and learn more and understand, why is this Bitcoin not going away? I've lost my Bitcoin. Where have I lost it to? Right? And all those questions that now created curiosity on me to learn more from the financial aspect. So later on, as time went on, Bitcoin has grown tremendously. That year, basically, when I bought Bitcoin at $2,500, it went up to almost $20,000 in the same year. That's 2017. Right? By December 2017, Bitcoin was trading at $20,000. Right. But the year after, 2018, Bitcoin started crashing all the way to 15,000, 10,000, 9,000, 8,000. Like it just kept going down all the way to 3,000 during the corona in 2020. So from 2018 all the way to 2020, right, Bitcoin was just on a downward trajectory.
George, as we conclude, of course, now that the story has completely, I think we just got carried away.
Yes.
What would you say, a one-liner to people who are looking to go into cryptocurrency? What should they do?
Learn fast. So educate yourself, understand what happens, understand this technology. Be the person who just wants to be educated, right? Show up for community events, learn what people are doing, understand the technology fast. Not necessarily too deep, but just understand things fast. Look for a mentor. Start small. You don't need to think of getting rich quick. Start with your 1,000 Kenyan shilling and see what happens to it. Will it get lost? What will happen to it? Right? And understand the flow. And then slowly you can now start, once you start understanding, now you can dip your feet deeper into the water and you'll be like, okay, wow, this is the best thing that has happened in the world.
Right, and of course, as we continue growing, as the digital space continues growing, we will continue learning as well,
yes,
and seeing how this particular venture, grows over time. Thank you so much, George, for giving us all those insights, and thank you so much for watching this particular episode of The Grind. I hope you've learned something about cryptocurrency, and maybe you can use it as a side hustle, as I've said, as a main hustle. My name is Hibak Saeed. Have yourselves a lovely night.
We value
na safari hii katika Mfahamu Kiongozi tutakuletea viongozi